I'm Danny Shakfin. I'm the owner of Motiva Business Law. And today I'm going to interview Georgina Fofana about her business. And this is part of our series that we're starting here about business owners, why they do what they do, and some advice that they can offer to future business owners. And so thank you so much for coming today on a Saturday.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, you're welcome. I'm glad to have you. So Gina, why don't you tell us what you do? You have a really interesting, it's something I haven't seen before, and so it really stuck out, and so I really wanted to talk to you about it. So why don't you tell me a little bit about your business, and just show us your product too while you're in it.
So my business it's kind of like it's a twofold. So there's Ayebea's Charming Beads, which does the selling of the waist beads, and I do, it's more like a marketplace. So I have waist beads, bracelets that I made from like recycled glass, and other products. And then the second part of the business is the part where I educate people about the cultural significance of waist beads as they're used in Ghanaian society, and pretty much educate people about my product that I have, and that part is called Jerk and Wasted.
Okay.
And it's jerk because I love to cook and I love to eat.
Not cooking not so much, but
yeah.
if you cook, I will definitely eat it.
Hey, food is food.
Yeah.
Where I make jerk chicken with rice and some drinks, and I bring it to the clients, and we eat, we drink, we talk, just connect, and just discuss about the cultural significance of the beads as they're used in Ghanaian society.
Oh, wonderful. So can you tell me a little bit more about your personal background? Are you from Ghana, or okay, so how did you want to translate or bring this specific part of your culture here to the US?
Okay. I was born and raised in Ghana. Came here a few years ago, went to high school here, went to college here, and everything. And waist beads have been part of my life since I was born, and the lives of my daughters. I have two daughters who have been wearing it since they were born. And recently I noticed that they've become a trend in the United States. So I see, a lot of things on Instagram, on TikTok, and people, wearing beads and showing their beads and everything. I say, well, based on what I know when I grew up, there were certain things that were not done the right way, or there were things that were said, and I'm like, that make me kind of like scratch my head, like. Yeah. So I decided to do, to start the business. This was during COVID, actually.
Oh, okay.
So I teach. By day I'm a teacher. So during COVID, we are all home doing remote learning.
Yeah.
This is a good time to
Those
start,
are common
right?
for business owners, during COVID.
So, exactly. So I, I'm like, well, now I have the time to actually do, that. So I started off with like little Zoom sessions to talk about the beads and give the background on it. And then once the world opened up, I decided to take it out into homes and event spaces. So I'd like to say that I think my motivation is just to encourage people to learn before partaking.
Right.
So I mean it's there, by just knowing the history, the culture behind it before you actually take part in it, so you're not making mistakes.
I hear you. I hear you. What because I'm from the Middle East. I'm from Syria, and a lot of people, it's the same thing. Like, remember, like henna tattoos. So do you remember those? They were really popular. They're like these little plasticky little bracelets and necklaces. And I remember thinking how, on the one hand, people would just really hate on people from the Middle East, like, oh, we're so oppressed and we don't like your culture, go back to where you came from. But also they're like wearing our stuff, and then they called it a tattoo, and I'm like, it's not a tattoo. And I was like, it was so cringe. So I totally see where you're coming from about like first educate yourself, learn about it, and also respect the culture and their like their rights and their rituals. Like if it has a significance, like don't downplay it.
Exactly.
Can we see some of the beads? I know you brought some today.
I brought some. I brought
Put them all on the table. Oh, they're so pretty.
So I named my beads. In Ghanaian society, we have the tendency to give things named. I learned that we name things so we can communicate through them. So even like cloths, like the fabric, we name them to communicate.
Interesting.
So let's say if a neighbor had something against a neighbor, they'll wear a cloth that speaks, that sends a message to that neighbor without really saying anything to them.
Okay.
So we tend to name.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, so because you want things to have meaning and to have significance. So I name all my beads because I want everyone who wears it to have something meaningful on them. So I want to send a message to them as to what what I wish for them. Yes.
I can see that some of them are different lengths. Can you tell me a little bit about why some are longer and shorter?
Yeah, I do. I make them that way because, I know in this country, people think that waist beads are to help women track their weight. Some people, to track their weight loss.
Oh, track their weight loss. Oh, okay.
So, because the way the waist beads are made, they're made with thread. So depending on where you put it, if you consume too much, it can become tighter. And so then it serves as a reminder for you to consume less. And then women who are like on waist bead journeys, when they put it on, it helps them notice how much they've lost.
Interesting.
Traditionally though, that's not the purpose of waist beads. They can serve that purpose, but traditionally in my culture, we don't use it for weight loss. But it can serve that. So what I try to encourage women is that women of all shapes and sizes can wear waist beads. I think the most important thing is you embracing you as you are. And so my waist beads are different sizes because I want to encourage women of all shapes and sizes to embrace themselves and actually enjoy the beauty of the beads. And then if you want to use it as that tool, then you can. But first and foremost, I want you to enjoy it. I want you to see yourself in the mirror and look at yourself and say, I'm beautiful, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
that's interesting. It's like the complete opposite meaning, and it just took, like, it's supposed to be, a way to love yourself and appreciate your body, and then some people turn it into basically kind of shame yourself.
Culturally, when babies are born, we put beads on them.
Okay.
And that can go for either boys or girls.
Okay.
And we do that when they're babies because we use it to measure the baby's growth. So as the baby, the way that it was explained to me when I went to Ghana a couple of years ago is that if your baby is 3 months old and they're still in the same beads, then they're not growing well, and then you kind of got concerned. But if the beads get tighter, then you take them off and you put new beads on them.
Interesting.
And then, to help them, grow. At some point, it was also used to help the holding the cloth diapers, in place for them. So they serve a lot of.
Interesting. I like that. I like how they're also like so pretty.
They are.
Here it's like measuring tape.
Yes.
So like, no, man, we're gonna measure the baby. We're gonna measure everything.
Yes, exactly, right.
So in Ghana, who makes the beads? Like, is it you can just buy them from any store?
Oh, no.
Or is it like part of, like, is there a right to it that's associated with it? Yeah.
So in Ghana, traditionally, so there are people who go to the market and buy. We have like beads market. So you can go and buy the beads that are already made. You can also buy them and make them if you know how to make them yourself. So we have like women and men who make beads. He makes my beads because before I started the business, I would buy beads from him. Okay. So whenever I would order beads from my sister, she would buy it from him. And I loved it. His designs are very beautiful, as you can tell. So when I decided to do the business, I said, can you ask Abdul if he can make me a lot of beads? And he said, yes, sure. That's awesome. We've actually been a business partner since, what is it, 2001. So 2003 now, the 2 years since I started the business. And so he's been making all my beads for me. But there are women and men in Ghana who make them. They're part of the fabric of Ghanaian society. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So he's making them in Ghana and then he's sending them here.
So my sister in Ghana works with Abdul. So she communicates to him what I need. Most of the designs though he designs himself. So like these designs on the table are his own thought of putting stuff together.
I like this one especially.
Yeah,
it's
so I call this one Star Child.
Star Child. I feel like it's something that that my girls would wear. I know that you have a Layla and I have a Layla daughter, and it's totally something Layla.
But you
want
to know something?
Sure.
Layla has that.
Oh, I'm
like
gonna get
literally
one from
when
you,
it came
Layla,
in.
this is a Layla. This is totally Layla.
Yes.
Layla would wear this.
When it came in,
Fashionable
she took it.
and
Yes, exactly.
I love it.
She loved these sparkles, and I called it that because in Ghana we have a phrase that's called instroma, and it's one of our Idincra symbols. And instroma represents the idea that we are all children of God and therefore duly protected. And so that is why this one is called instroma.
I love it. It's beautiful. So tell me a little bit about your business model. How do you get these beads to people? I mean, do you sell them online? Do you have parties? Like, what does that happen? How does that work?
So there's an online. I do have an online store, but I feel as if the stories is what makes for me what makes the business.
Okay.
Just being able to meet up with people, connect, and share the culture with them. I feel like that is what makes the business. So I would say, although I have an online shop and then I also have the kiosk at the mall, even the kiosk at the mall, I feel like that's because we take the time to talk.
Right.
I'm not just selling the beads. We talk. I help people choose. Because with the beads, you can choose by the color, or you can choose by the name.
Right.
So I, give people the names, and we just figure out what fits them, what type of message they want for themselves.
It's a very personal purchase.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
Right.
So it's just the idea of, being, with the people. So that is the other part. So
that's beautiful.
Yeah. So that's why I have the parties.
So you have the parties. Okay. So you have parties. Like at people's homes, for example, and then you sell the beads there, but you also kind of explain to them the culture and you bring the food, and that way it's like the experience. It's not like just buying, I'm going to go to some Macy's or some department store and buy it off the rack.
Exactly.
Like it's very, personal. It has a story. I love that.
Yeah. I remember my aunt was actually advising me to, find a way to package it, which I think is nice and cool. But I personally, I enjoy this aspect of it, being with the people, talking to them, because I feel like sharing my culture is a way of sharing myself with people.
Right. Yeah.
And and I love it.
And you want to tell a story. Well, that's really interesting. I love that. For me, when I do my business, it is a way to showcase a part of myself as well. And I think that's the beautiful thing about entrepreneurship is that I'm not just running a business. I'm also telling a story. I'm building a culture. And so I think that's a beautiful way that you get to show your basic. But on the one hand, it's like you gotta also make the bucks. So it's a show, to continue that. I really definitely have my eye on this one. So Gina, so just a couple more points. You were talking about social media and how you see a lot of misconceptions. What are the most common misconceptions about the waist beads that you see on social media, and what you wish you could tell people about the beads?
So I feel like for me, the biggest thing that I think, if I can say, irks me, is the fact that when people are saying something, they don't qualify their statement.
Right.
So if you're going to make a statement that waist beads for weight loss, then you need to qualify where or which country or what space that comes out of. So I don't like the generalization aspect of the waist beads.
Okay.
I've noticed another thing is that waist beads have been overly sexualized in social media, and it drives me crazy. I've read comments, I've seen videos of things being said, and I tell myself, I'm like, okay, stop. Okay, if this is the way that it's used, then specify that in this country or in this culture, it is used. I've heard people say, waist beads are an African, blah blah blah. No, you can't say an Africa is like a huge continent.
I know, right?
Where in Africa? So I feel like that is one, that is one thing that really, really drives me. And as a matter of fact, a couple of weeks ago, I started making my own videos. And my first video had to do with embracing tradition. And it's because a friend of mine sent me a video of a young lady on TikTok who posted that waist beads are evil.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and then when she posted it, she started off by saying, well, I'm from Ghana and I don't even wear waist beads. And my husband and I were like, her being from Ghana is like Layla saying she's from Ghana.
Yeah.
She's from Ghana, you know, because her parents, you know, like,
yeah.
so when you don't know the tradition, so you cannot, you know, say things like that. So I actually had to make my video, because you've got over 40,000 people watching you. You have such a huge following.
Right.
And because you're going for likes and following, you're just throwing things out there
and
controversial. To see if it sticks.
Yeah.
So I ended up, I decided to use that opportunity to make a video, you know, just breaking things down. Even within Ghana as a country, we have different cultures.
Right.
In it. And yeah, there are different cultures in Ghana who, you know, might do different things or whatever, but you cannot make such a blanket statement, you know, about something so beautiful.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
So,
well, if it's any consolation, like the hijab that we wear, which is literally about modesty, people still find a way to sexualize it.
No,
that's like exotic, and the veil lifted, and like all that kind. I'm like, oh, people are just like. I mean, I totally get it. I mean,
and I'm
it's
thinking
just
about
frustrating.
I put my children in this.
Yeah, like your babies. You're talking about babies. That's messed up. That's all messed up.
Yes, I put my children in it, you know, and the idea, you know, like Layla and, you know, Yasmina both know that their waist beads are not meant to be seen, you know, by anyone. You know, you know, speaking of the hijab, you know, it's kind of like your waist beads they're sacred. They're not meant to be seen. And when I walked in, you couldn't tell. I have 15 on.
Oh, okay.
I
didn't realize that.
No,
okay, that's
they're
interesting.
not yet. So at least from Ghana,
right,
where I'm from, waist beads are meant to be covered because it represents your womanhood.
Yeah,
it's private.
Yeah,
you know, and so it's not something meant to be seen by by everyone. So,
can you show us how we wear it, or is that okay? Or, so is it?
It's funny. Maybe I can. I'll show you a photo real quick.
Okay, that works too.
So. And the reason why, you know, she has her face covered is we just use this, you know, to show. And as you can tell, we don't want anyone to know who's, because, you know, traditionally, she knows that it's not supposed to be an answer, but just to give people an idea as to what it looks like, when you have it on.
Okay.
This is my very good friend, and she doesn't wear hers on the outside. This was just, you know, for the photo. So it goes around your waist like that.
Okay.
And it can be layered, you know, however many you want it layered. But the most comfortable way and traditional way is to wear it here. There are people who wear it here. We wear it here because of the idea of making sure that it's hidden. If it's down here, it's hidden within your clothes.
I see.
And it's not seen. Yeah, and it's also comfortable.
Interesting.
You can eat as much as you want to eat.
Or hold you in check, I guess.
Exactly. You know.
I love it.
So yeah. So what happens is, and this is one of the reasons why I like to you know, I had a young lady who stopped by the mall last weekend to buy one, and I was putting it on her. She had one that she said she bought from somewhere else, and I could tell she had this much thread showing in there. And I said, "Did you put this yourself?" She said, "Yes." I said, well, "Why? Wasn't, you know, did you order it online?" She said, "No, I ordered it in person, you know, at this mall, blah, blah, blah. I got it in person at this mall." I said, "Why wasn't it put on you?" She said, "I don't know. She just put it in the bag and gave it to me."
Interesting. Okay.
So I said, "Okay." So I prefer putting my beads on the women. For me, it's a part of, you know, it's
a ritual.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's just right.
Right.
To after you teach a person to teach, you know, to do the adorning, you know, put it on them so they don't try to figure out how to wear it, you know, or whatnot. So because these are traditionally, you know, made traditionally, they come with a thread. There are some that have screws on them. There are some that have like the hook, the clasp.
Right.
I don't do those because for me, those are not tradition.
Okay.
Those are like made, you know, so I still stick with the thread. And
so it just ties around.
Yes, I measure it to the person. So you see, I have a little bit of strain here. So I measure it to the person. So let's say if this is the waist, I'll go around it like this, and then I just tie. Okay, so I made a knot. And as you can tell, there's no space in the wear because then you know you want to see the beauty of the beads, not you know the string. The string is just the tool to get the beads on. And then
the rest just hangs.
No, so you do it. I wrap it around. I do it. I cut it. If it's enough to go around, let's say if it's enough to go around the person twice,
Okay.
I'll put it around them twice.
Okay.
Like
That's
that.
really pretty.
Yeah. If not, then I'll do this. I'll tie it, and then I'll burn it to seal it so that you can see the strings. And then the rest is used as a bracelet or anklet for person.
Okay, that's really nice. And then Gina, if anyone wants to get in touch with you or wants to buy the beads, what is the best way for them to contact you?
So to buy the beads, I can be found at the Yorktown Mall.
Oh, okay.
I can also be found online.
Yeah, so
Okay.
yeah, for the website, like you can check the comments,
Okay.
and then people can buy them directly from you. Is it like do you go out to see them and measure it, or do you mail it to them? Like what's like?
So
how would they, like,
I can mail it if they order online. I can mail it
Okay.
with the tying instruction.
Okay.
I also have a video on Instagram that they can use
Okay.
to tie it
And
themselves.
we'll post those as well.
Okay, good. And then, or if they come to me, I put it on them. I also do the parties, like I said. I don't know, like this is it. You know, I got a tiny little card. So this is it. It's called Jerk and Wasted, and I come with like the food and then the drink, and then I also have one that doesn't come with food. So it's just it's called Krabeshe, and Krabeshe translating to something worth seeing. So something it's so worth seeing that you say goodbye to your friends and family, so you can go, you can go see. It's kind of like the Eiffel Tower is Krabeshe.
Yeah.
Something worth seeing. So that's what it is. So that is the other service where I come to you, but it doesn't have food included. So I can be, just call me. We can figure out something that works, best.
Okay.
Whether it's me coming to you, or whatever. So.
Okay, and like I said, like we're gonna post everything, in the comments and somewhere around the video whenever it gets edited. Well, thank you so much, Gina, again for coming. It was so nice to learn about the ways beads, and I look forward to seeing your business grow.
Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you so much for your help too.
You're welcome.